It's estimated that 1 in every 10 children leave primary school with serious literacy difficulties. These children are more likely to leave school early. It's estimated that early school leavers cost the state €33,000 every year in welfare supports and lost taxes alone. Over half the prison population have left school early, and a prison place is costing on average €100,000. So isn't it about time, Minister, that we started to do things differently, act in the interests of our people and join up government?
Thanks, Chair, and thanks, Deputy. Our child benefit system is the main policy instrument for assisting families with the costs of raising their children, and it's a universal payment which I very much subscribe to, and it's paid in respect of all qualified children up to the ages of 16 years or to the age of 18 years if they're in full-time education or if they have a disability, and it's paid monthly to over 630,000 families in respect of 1.2 million children at an annual cost of 2.1 billion taxpayers' euros every single year. And safeguarding the child benefit budget is a priority, and in this regard the Department takes a very proactive approach to ensuring that it's only paid to eligible families. The scheme operates a control programme aimed at ensuring that the payment of child benefit is made where there is an ongoing entitlement, and it stops when there isn't. Some 300,000 eligibility reviews are undertaken annually for this purpose, and the Deputy refers to a commitment in the programme for government aimed at reforming the monitoring of child benefit payments by amalgamating the two existing school attendance monitoring systems currently run by the Department of Education and Tusla to address the poor school attendance with some families. There are considerable legal, technical and data protection issues relating to the exchange of information between schools and my department, and in particular there are issues related to the disclosure of sensitive personal information regarding a child's circumstances, which may not be relevant to the entitlement of the parent of the receipt of child benefit. So in the meantime, I'm satisfied with the existing control measures and will review the policy in place in the child benefit schemes and believe that it ensures payments are only being given to families where there is an ongoing entitlement.
Can I thank the Minister for her response? Minister, every year 900 children disappear from primary schools, and the Department of Education hasn't a clue where they've actually gone. Now, your department pays out €1.5 million to the parents of those children, and the state doesn't know where those children are. Now, as you know, the school attendance law in this country states that children have to attend school up to the age of 16. And in order to be eligible for child benefit up to that age, children must attend school. Now, you, Minister, have said that this money is only paid to eligible families, but if children are not attending school, then they are not complying with the law as it stands at the moment. Now, Minister, we need to link up the systems within the Department of Education, within Tusla and within your own department to ensure that we actually identify these families, identify these children and provide the proper supports to ensure that those children get a chance in life.
Thanks, Chair. I think, Deputy, I've already outlined both the legal and data protection issues with regard to the sharing of the data that prohibits doing what you've suggested to do that was originally, I suppose, outlined in the programme for government. But I can absolutely assure you that we take a proactive approach to ensure that child benefit is paid only to people who are entitled to it. The fraud and error surveys that we do are an integral part of the department's overall approach to control and tackling welfare fraud, and the latest survey results confirm that the Department's view is that child benefit is an exceptionally low-risk scheme. We conduct some 300 inspections every single year, and that does genuinely result in some payments being stopped, but I have to tell you that the reason for most of those payments that are being stopped are not because the children are not in school or not attending. It's because the mother in the house doesn't see the letter, or it goes in a drawer and you don't realise that your payment has been stopped until it actually doesn't arrive in the post office or the bank, and then they ring us and they say, yes, of course my kids are still going to school, and, but it's a very robust control system, and there is exceptionally little fraud in this particular system. But I would tell you from my own interactions with the department in Tusla that used to be the NEWB with regard to the non-attendance in my own area, The children, and yes, we do have a problem, are growing in numbers of non-attendance in school, are the very families that actually need more supports from us, and not just educational supports, but mental health supports and social inclusion supports. And I think we need to robustly support the people in Tusla to make sure that they continue to monitor and to know who those kids are, to make sure that the families get a holistic
Final
approach.
question from Deputy Notkin.
Minister, thanks. And you make the point that most payments are stopped because parents have put the letter in the drawer and have failed to respond to the department. Have any cases had their child benefits suspended because the parents are in breach of the law in relation to school attendance? Can I ask you, Minister, is it the most appropriate way to deal with this situation to use tools from 140 years ago to actually drag those vulnerable parents and families through the courts in order to ensure that children get access to education? Are you aware, Minister, that 1 in 8 primary school children in this country are missing more than 20 days in school? The numbers are actually increasing rather than reducing, and in many cases this is leading to disruption throughout the class, not just the children concerned, and is having a knock-on impact in relation to adult literacy. In fact, 1 in 6 adults in this country aren't able to determine the correct amount of medicine to give a child from the information that's printed on the package. How can those adults actively engage within the employment sector or within society if they don't have the basic literacy skills? And don't we need to start that at primary school?
Final response from the Minister.
Again, I totally appreciate what you're trying to achieve. I just don't think that this is the method to achieve the results that you're looking for. And yeah, you are right. We do have a phenomenal number of children, and particularly more recently, and particularly young boys who are presenting to school or are absent from school for more than 20 days. But it certainly is not their parents' fault, and penalising from a child protection or from a child benefit perspective is not going to fix the problem. We have a real difficulty with young adults growing up in this country who are facing a huge amount of social difficulties that we didn't face when we were in school. And what we need to do is to support Tusla, to make sure that they have the capacity, the resources to work with those families so that we can put in place other schooling offerings to ensure that we don't have the literacy problems that you're describing thereafter. Now, to answer your original direct question, have anybody been ever stopped when their child benefit because of non-school attendance? Yes, they are. Children, the forms that go out in control measures needs to be brought to the school, to be signed by the school, to ensure that your Johnny or your Mary is still in school. And if they're not, the school don't sign the forms, and so therefore you can't return them to us as signed, and the payments are stopped. So it's only in cases where we actively work together to recognise that there are issues over and above the normal attendance issues that you might be describing, and to put the resources in place to help the families, I think is the proper method to go forward.